we were sold a bill of goods, and I shouldn't have been that stupid, and it was my fault, and I take complete responsibility for it. And I will apologize 1,000 times.
How are you feeling? I know it's 12 hours now.
I actually, going in and then like doing the thing, I was like, I'll be fine. And then they pull you out and you talk to like a psychologist. I'm like, I'm fine. And then you get out and you're just like, wait, I have 1,200 emails and so many messages on social media. And it's very overwhelming because you have been without a phone or any human interaction other than the cast members for like a month. So it's really quite an experience. And hence the not really sleeping. But I think I'm going to segue into like going out of doors today and see the sun for the first time.
What's been the most surprising thing you've learned since you've been out of the house so far?
I mean, I've learned so many surprising things about, people that I trusted and things that I thought were happening that weren't happening. And like the first, big whammy is when you sit down with Julie and she's like, now about Shayna, were you big brothered? I'm like, I don't even know what that means. But if you're asking me, then I think we really made a huge mistake. And I owe her such a big apology. And that's the one thing that I learned that is the most regrettable and has made me feel so awful. Because we should have listened to her and not the people that I thought we could trust, which we should have known better.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, obviously Misha put you and Cynthia up. Shayna's the one that saved you. Then when you get HOH, they convince you to turn on her.
Right.
Were you guys gullible, or were Misha and Todrick just really good?
They were really good. I've had a long relationship with Todrick and working on shows like Drag Race. So I just kind of thought, well, this guy wouldn't be misleading me this dramatically and with so much finesse and so convincing and getting both me and Cynthia. If it was just me, I would look to Cynthia and be like, are we supposed to believe them? But they got both of us. And, I swear we only had the best intentions, and we thought, we had somebody who was playing both sides, and it was, I guess we should trust the devil that we know as opposed to somebody that is playing both sides. And we didn't know that that was mostly made up. I feel awful for Shayna, and, I need to send her the biggest apology ever, because that is the one thing I didn't want to do, was something icky, and I did something icky.
Yeah, I feel like when she was, being nominated and everything, she was ostracized a little bit. It could have it felt like a mob mentality almost, like
absolutely
people were bringing up her appearance and things like that. Do you look back at that and just cringe a little bit?
I don't think I said much about her, and I know I definitely didn't say anything about her appearance. After she was gone, I still felt bad about it. And when people were, starting to chatter about it, I kind of just didn't want to be involved in that.
Yeah. So if you could redo your HOH, I'm assuming you might change some things.
Yeah. I mean, we should have just stuck with the plan to get rid of Misha. And, Todd and Lamar seemed to be so entrenched in an alliance with her. Todrick was absolutely attached to her at the hip. So I didn't even know or think we could get her out at that point if we'd have enough votes. But the way it turned out was just awful. And, I apologize a million times to her. And I haven't had a chance to absolutely watch everything, but from what people have told me and friends of mine who are very close to me, who have been obsessed with the show and watching the live feeds, are just like, they played you so hard. And it's just, I feel terrible, but, Shayna has to obviously feel the worst. And I just, need to reach out and apologize to her, because that should never have happened.
I know you know Todrick from RuPaul's Drag Race.
I do.
What was your relationship like? Was it always friendly? Was there tension? Like when you saw him in the house, were you nervous or were you happy?
We've always had a great relationship on set, and he has been a guest judge on the show a couple times. And it's always been super cordial. And I was actually kind of excited. And from the very get-go, I kind of pulled him inside and said, we should look out for each other, just as a friend from the outside thing. And I was kind of shocked that he left our alliance early. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess he has a good reason. He didn't feel comfortable with Teddi. Again, not very good at this game, I'll admit it. And then just, more and more things, his, adherence to Misha became a little bit of a red flag. It was just like, I guess she is his ride or die. I understood that. Cynthia was my ride or die. You gel with certain people. But I never imagined that he would try to mislead us so badly. I'm naive. I know it's gameplay, but I have a long-standing relationship with him.
Yeah.
So I didn't think he would go to that extent.
Speaking of those relationships, I know you and Cynthia had a great one. Who else do you think you'll keep in touch with the most outside the house?
I love Lamar. He's so wonderful. And, Todd Bridges was like really interesting because he was like so under the radar for most of the competition. And I would, tell Cynthia, I was like, I don't even think he wants to be here or feels good enough to be here. And then like he sprung into action like a phoenix that was rising. And by the time we did that hanging on the wall challenge, and he was up there like almost as long as I was like, Todd Bridges is hanging on the wall? Doesn't he have like a bionic shoulder? How's this happening? So he was very surprising, but I did like him. I would hope to maybe be able to patch things up with Shanna. Who knows? She probably will hate me forever. And who else is left? Oh, and of course, Teddi. I adore Teddi. And I adore Chris Kattan.
Yeah, Chris Kattan mentioned maybe you guys doing a cooking show together.
You know what? I'll do the cooking. He can do the eating in his underwear.
Love that. So you definitely campaigned to stay this week. Like I've definitely, especially last night, you were, pitching them a little bit, but then there were also moments where you were like, well, if I go, take care of Cynthia, did you feel like you did enough? Was there anything else you could have done, I guess?
I don't think so. I think, the people that were in control were Todrick and Misha, and we really had to appeal to them. And I thought we made a great case. Again, I thought, I had this agreement with Todrick that we would have each other's back just as a chivalrous gentleman's agreement. And I invoked that and said, hey, remember in the very beginning, we said, let's look out for each other. That wasn't happening. We thought maybe we could appeal to Misha, you want to play this game with integrity, which she said 10,000 times. These two people are ones that play with integrity. Why not play with us? You know what you're going to get. But they just thought I was a big, giant threat. I still don't get it. I only won 2 things, and I wasn't that good at either one of them, except the veto thing. I did kill that, but I just think there are much more dangerous people in there than little old me.
Well, at the end, people sometimes vote for different things. Maybe they vote for who they like, and obviously you're very well liked. What factors will your vote, when you go to vote, what factors will you think about?
I need to watch the show, but I think, if someone's really dastardly and had bad intentions the entire time, I would probably, and was not transparent about it, I would be harder on them. There are some people, I honestly think that Misha actually was most of the time, and again, I have not seen everything, but she seemed to be most of the time very transparent, at least. She's like, you're the biggest threat, I'm putting you up. Okay.
Yeah, I think she would have an easier time than Todrick at the end.
Yeah.
I know you've done a lot of reality TV, but any hesitations about doing this show? Any regrets?
I do reality TV. That's what I do. And I'm on so many different things. And I've been doing this for 20 years. And no, I don't regret doing it because I had a lot of fun and I met some amazing people. And at the end of the day, I'll have an amazing friendship with Cynthia Bailey, who is a spectacular person that is just a gift. And the only regret I have is not being smart enough and getting rid of Shanna when I shouldn't have, and that was completely my fault. But I just want to let you know, we were sold a bill of goods, and I shouldn't have been that stupid, and it was my fault, and I take complete responsibility for it, and I will apologize 1,000 times.